Hello, welcome to Black Enterprise Future of Financial Services Online Summit. I'm Matt Mitchell, your moderator for today. I'm the founder of CryptoHarlem, an organization that teaches the Black community about technology, the harms of technology, and the promise of future technology. I'm also a technology fellow at the Ford Foundation. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Deidra Ramsey McIntyre, the founder of Black People and Cryptocurrency, and Derek Jones, the founder of UnitedCoin. Let's jump right in. Deirdre, can I ask you first to introduce yourself?
Sure, Matt. Thanks for having me, and thanks to Black Enterprise as well. My name is Deidra McIntyre, and in 2017, myself and a few other admins founded Black People and Cryptocurrency as a response to the ICO craze and people jumping into a lot of different cryptos and not really understanding what was going on. A lot of speculative activity. We wanted to be about utility, explaining what the change was between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, and then still have people be excited about the rise of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Great. I'm going to ask you to unpack some of that and define some of those acronyms. But Derek, could you introduce yourself for us? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Derek Jones. I'm the founder of UnitedCoin. UnitedCoin is a blockchain operating system connected to a financial institution. We provide custody for individuals and FDIC insured accounts, allowing people to be able to have a secure and insured on-ramp into cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. And we also provide education, allowing people to be able to get the information necessary to be able to jump into blockchain and cryptocurrency in regards to a profession.
You know, I love what you're trying to do to educate folks, but also give them career opportunities and also deal with some of the risk inherent to cryptocurrency. For a lot of us who are watching, interested in the future of finance, we might have heard about cryptocurrency, but not really sure what it is. Deirdre, you started by talking about people jumping into the cryptocurrency craze, ICO or initial coin offerings. Can you explain what cryptocurrency is? And then I would love to get your definition of that, Derek.
Well, cryptocurrency began with Bitcoin in 2009. What makes it different from the web that you know, what we in technology call Web 2.0, is that Web 2.0 was a sharing of information. If I were to send you, Matt, a selfie of myself, I keep the selfie. That doesn't work in terms of money. If you want $5, I can't keep sending you $5 over and over again. So up until 2008, the only institutions that could verify that I gave you $5 and I should be debited $5 were banking institutions or the online institutions that you're used to, PayPal and Venmo and other third-party MoneyGram, other third-party providers. That's what they stood in the middle, and they said, nah, there's a deduction here, an addition there, and if she doesn't have $5, she can't send Matt, she can't send Derek, can't send him a dime. Well, programmers in the summer of 2008 decided they could build a computer system in which a group of computers would be the verifier of a value going from one person to the other. So debiting one person and going to another person. So that initial cryptocurrency, that initial first cryptocurrency was Bitcoin. It still remains the largest verifier in the space to this date. But one thing Bitcoin is, it's not just a verifier. It's just not a place for you for a system of computers to say, hey, there was a debit here and a credit here. It actually lets you build software on top of it. So if you're building software on top of it, you know, we could have the Matt, Derek, and Deidra, you know, exchange, you know, and brand our own type of MoneyGram type system and just have the transactions really be either Bitcoin or a token of Bitcoin on top of that. So it's just a shift of internet protocol that it now allows a bunch of computers to be the verifier of sending money or sending value. This person sent it, they no longer have it. It now goes to this individual.
Wow, that's a great explanation. I love the way you explained the double spend problem. Derek, what is cryptocurrency?
You know, Deidra really touched on a lot of the technical points associated with cryptocurrency. To give you kind of some of the consumer aspects of it, cryptocurrency is almost similar to digital money, but it's encrypted, secure digital money. And what this does is this allows you, as Deidra mentioned, to be able to process transactions between two individuals and it to be verified by a third-party source, and this third-party source being the Bitcoin blockchain. There are other blockchains that are out there that also perform verification, such as Ethereum and such as Stellar. And they also are connected with financial institutions, and they're working to help with the ability to be able to process these trustless transactions amongst individuals. And just as Deirdre mentioned, you can see numerous softwares and programs that are being built upon these blockchains, where allowing people to be able to have user-friendly interfaces along with their transactions and allowing them to be able to really use the technology in a way that is familiar to them.
Thanks, Derek, for explaining that to us so well. A lot of people are wondering, is now the time to be investing in cryptocurrency? You know, this is a little bit of a tricky question here, but we're looking at record inflation and uncertainty, a conflict in modern Europe. What do you say to folks who are a little bit apprehensive about, is now the time, and how would you recommend, not giving financial advice, but just speaking on this, if it is the time, how should you jump in? Deirdre.
Well, we in crypto always say, and also not giving financial advice, that our opinion is it's never a bad time. The whole industry is such in its infancy, but we do say to people, look, this is a new space. Imagine the internet in 1993, 1995. Some of these companies that were existing in the early 90s didn't exist, and some of the blockchains may phase away as well. So, you know, do what you can and don't bet the farm, proceed cautiously. Don't go putting your mortgage up and on something that's being marketed a lot. You know, proceed with caution and just take time to study the space and do just a little bit. And also stay with some of the safe bets, which, you know, a lot of times we always say it's Bitcoin because that's the oldest one and it just has the growth potential that the others do not have. So if you don't know a lot, then Bitcoin is your best bet, and then take time to learn. And then never use something money that you absolutely need to pay bills, to pay your mortgage. That's not something that you would want to risk.
Thank you. That's great advice, Deirdre. Derek, what about people who ask you, is now the time? What do you say to them?
Again, without giving financial advice, I'd like to kind of reiterate what Deirdre said. It's really never a bad time. Less than 5% of people in the world actually own cryptocurrency at this time. So as she mentioned, this is even newer than infancy. We're looking at almost the egg stage right now in regards to cryptocurrencies. And so we're allowing people to be able to get involved, you know, by educating them. But at the same time, we're telling them, take your time, right? There's a mindset in investing called dollar cost averaging, right? And this is where you take a small amount of money every day and you use that to be able to purchase some form of cryptocurrency or some form of asset, right? And in cryptocurrency, we tell people, try out some Bitcoin one day, maybe try out some Ethereum another day, maybe try out some units another day. And what this does is this allows you to become educated about the market, allows you to find things that you're interested in regards to cryptocurrencies, which may be a specific utility that you're looking for, maybe something that works with a platform that you use or that you would like to use. And then by doing this, what you do is you slowly become educated and almost become, I wouldn't say an expert, but you become someone who can look at the market and can see a new asset that comes out maybe 2 to 3 years from now and have some past experience that you can apply to make a really educated decision.
That's great advice. I love that you brought up dollar cost averaging. When the market's low, you'll end up with a little bit more cryptocurrency. And when the market's not doing so well, well, then you have a few less tokens, but the amount that you're losing is always the same, or investing is always the same. That's wonderful advice, and I think more people should heed it. I'm going to ask you another question that I get. It's how do I avoid scams? I know that just recently, partly because of all the economic changes around the world, there seems to be like a deluge of scams around Forex and cryptocurrency. And quite a few people I know, super smart, very critical thinking, fell for them. How do we avoid cryptocurrency scams? How do we best work with maybe a group like yours to protect ourselves? And I'll give that to you first, Derek. Switch it up a little bit.
That's a great question. And to say that there's a foolproof plan to be able to dissect every company and know whether it's a scam or maybe a rug pull is something that I don't know that exists. But I will tell you some of the things that we tell individuals to look for. The first is to look at the team. Look at what they've done before. Look at their advisors. Look at the people that are involved. Are these real people? The second is when you're looking at the company and looking at its utility of its actual company, is this something that may have longevity? Is this something that can last over time? And then you also want to look at a company and maybe see, has any of the team members been involved in any other companies before, any other rug pulls, maybe any other scams previously? This is very easy to do with a Google search and can really eliminate about 80 to 90% of the issues that you're going to have. Now, to get that other 10 to 20%, the best things to look for are things like insurance, seeing where is the custody going to be held. Is it going to be with someone who is an institution, or is it going to be held in some type of decentralized location? And if it is in a decentralized location, who are the individuals who have access to this decentralized location? Is it merely their technical team? Is it people outside of their technical team? And usually you can ask these questions very easily through some means of social media communication with the team associated with the company. And that's usually how you can get a lot of the information necessary to eliminate those scams and rug pulls from your decision making.
Thanks, Derek. They're not going to scam me again. Deidra, how about you? Like, what are ways that you recommend that people avoid scams? I love what Derek was saying about just do your due diligence. Google. People don't exist on LinkedIn, things like that look suspicious. What other advice do you have for us?
You know, Matt, I wish I had a crystal ball, and I wish it was as simple as Derek defined. I mean, it's undeniable that Bitcoin is the first and the biggest, and nobody knows who's really behind Bitcoin. So that kind of knowledge of you're going to always know who the team is. I mean, there's a culture involved in this sector that's called decentralization, and it's a lot of privatization. And so a lot of times there are going to be some products or some things that you want to use, and you won't be able to see the founders. So what do you do in that instance? And a lot of times it's something very similar to what people do when they're looking at products and things that they're interested in the traditional world. You're going to look and say, look for good reviews and bad reviews. You're going to look to see with the developers, people who build software, what are they saying? Are there any red flags in terms of people who are reviewing the white paper that has the technical spec? Is someone's constantly talking about, well, this problem right here might lead to an exploit and they're not fixing it. So you might have to ignore a lot of the noise. A lot of times, a lot of the scams are coming from the ones that have the wherewithal to advertise exhaustively, not even online, but sometimes billboards in Times Square. But at the same time that these people were advertising, there was always a small group that was saying, hey, there's a problem here, there's a problem here, there's a problem here. So your guess is as good as mine, unfortunately, which is why we kind of always fall back on the don't risk what you can't afford to lose in its entirety in terms of your type of projection. But you just definitely have to be buyer beware and be careful, and then try to gravitate to those with utility that you think, based on what you've studied and read from others, that would really work for you if it ever does come to fruition. But you also have to be mindful, 9 out of 10 businesses fail anyway. And so if you add this new sector, you're not going to see odds being very much different from what we know in the traditional business world, unfortunately.
I like the way that you've compared technologies and cryptocurrencies to businesses and utilities as an investment. I think it's a really great way to think about it, and more people should be doing that.
Right.
Now we're going to switch gears and get a little bit more nerdy as we covered, kind of covered some of the early people's risk questions and worries. We did, the name of this is, what's next for cryptocurrency? So I'm just going to ask you, what is next for cryptocurrency? Let's dive right in. So again, this time, reverse it. Deidra, you're on. What is next for cryptocurrency, or what excites you most about what's going on now with cryptocurrency?
It is a huge space. I mean, this space is growing by leaps and bounds. I think at the time that we're talking right now, it's 20,000. A year ago, it was probably 10,000 less cryptocurrencies than we're talking about now, or cryptocurrency and blockchain projects. So for me, anything that has utility excites me. Some of the things that excite me are the ones that are placed in crypto mining rigs in conjunction with renewable energy plants. And the reason why they're doing that is many people don't realize that your wind, your water, your solar energy plants have a problem in that about 30% of the energy is wasted, that they can't do anything about that problem. So some very ingenious people and two different projects that are working in that are Soluna Holdings, which runs Soluna Computing. They're actually putting crypto mining rigs and other high processing computers to work on medical issues and other problems. They're putting to use that what would be wasted energy. So it kind of recycles it instead of losing that energy. And another one, Wive Protocol, which is the first blockchain founded by Black people, proof of work blockchain out of Kenya. And they're actually doing the same thing with a slightly different twist. They're actually tying their computers, their mining rigs to renewable energy sources so that rural Africans who live traditionally actually have a currency when normally their economics is barter. So now they're entering into a currency-oriented platform. So those excite me. And the other excitement is the play to earn and play to learn gaming environments, this idea that you could do something recreationally and actually earn actual currency. One of my favorites is Eduardo Jackson's Cinema Draft, which is this, predictions market game that instead of fantasy sports, it's fantasy films. But you're dealing with kind of like a real currency type environment that, if you're really good and really passionate about the entertainment space, that you can earn an income from something that is what others would consider a pastime. So those are two sectors that really excite me at the moment.
Derek, you already know the question. What is the future? What's next for cryptocurrency? Or what excites you most about cryptocurrency?
Well, what's next in the future and what excites me are pretty much one and the same. The first is we're starting to see a lot of utility involved with cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrencies being accepted by more companies in quote unquote the real world as well as in the metaverse. And so you're seeing this connection of the virtual and the physical world, allowing people to be able to transact with virtual currencies in the physical world and also physical currencies in the virtual world. And this is creating a connection that a lot of people may not fully understand, but allows people to be able to expand their offerings to individuals, and as well as individuals who don't have the ability to maybe provide an offering in the physical world can now offer it in a virtual world and then still get access to physical individuals. This is something that's kind of huge if you think about it. And then some other things that I'm really looking forward to are more adoption of cryptocurrencies. I think that the last mile problem is starting to finally be solved with cryptocurrencies, with some of the technologies that you're seeing being built. And then at the same time, you're also seeing a lot of individuals who, as she mentioned, in some of the rural areas in the world that are starting to be able to figure out, if you will, how to create applications for cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology in their own environments. And what this is going to do is this is going to really accelerate adoption throughout the world and also at the same time accelerate development of these programs. And so you're going to see leaps that are going to be gigantic in regards to adoption and usability and utility of blockchains over the next 5 to 10 years. And so things that we never thought would be on blockchains are going to be able to be on blockchains. We're talking about things like supply chain issues that are a huge concern right now, okay, because of what's happened from COVID and what you mentioned earlier in regards to a war happening now in modern Europe. These types of issues can be solved strategically and technologically using blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. And we can eliminate a lot of the bandwidth, if you will, and a lot of the bottleneck issues with blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. And so seeing these issues, if you will, being solved, as well as seeing more avenues being opened in regards to what consumers can do with the technology, are really exciting to me.
You're excited. Deidra's excited. I'm excited. This has been an exciting conversation. Well, we have a little bit of time left. I just wanted to know if there's anything in closing. What would be your message to Black investors, the Black community, Bitcoin investors, or cryptocurrency investors? Is there anything you want to just wrap with? I just want to not force you to answer one of my questions, give you a little bit of a platform. Let me give it to you first, Derek.
Well, especially for Black investors, what I'd like to say is there's something special about blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, and that is that it has no color. And what does this mean? This means that when you're performing a transaction with someone, it's based upon relevant information that is specifically pertinent to that transaction, which is with Bitcoin and blockchain and cryptocurrencies, how much money is in your wallet? Not your age, not where you live, not your nationality, not your experience levels, but basically how much money is in your wallet at this time. This creates an opportunity window that is much larger than anything that exists outside of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And by being involved, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to be able to not only get in early, but to be able to create generational wealth by creating an avenue and a path for future generations to be able to get into this technology and have someone that they can look to and they can actually partner with or collaborate with in the future and be able to build with. This is something that's gigantic, okay? A lot of times, people of Black and brown culture are not actually given the ability to really have a foundation that they can hold on to and own in an industry. Sometimes it's stripped away from them, if you will. And with blockchain and cryptocurrency, because of these wallets, these public keys and these private keys, that ownership that has been stripped away from people in the past is no longer an issue. Right? You can own your own private keys. The private keys can be insured. And when that happens, now we not only know who the owner is, we know who the owner is, what they own, and we know that that ownership cannot be moved without their permission. This is gigantic, okay? And solves a lot of issues that we've had in the past and we can eliminate in the future. And a lot of those issues have affected our neighborhoods and our cultures more than others. And I think that this is a solution for us.
Wow, Derek, those are very powerful words. I don't know about the people watching virtually, but it hit me right in my heart. Deidra, the platform is yours. What do you have to say to Black investors, the Black community, just cryptocurrency investors, anyone watching this?
I think Black people, we have Black people in cryptocurrency always say we have to recognize our space in the current paradigm and understand the technology shift of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Technologically, Bitcoin, using Bitcoin and other blockchains like Dash and Litecoin directly, they're borderless. That's a big deal for Black people. Think of how many times that you may have this brilliant idea and, oh, I would love to do something with the Bob Marley Foundation, or I would love to do something with some soca artist. What is the barrier of Black Americans doing business in the Caribbean. It's a huge barrier. There's always been a block. There's always been this, well, we don't know what you're doing and you can't do that right now. There's a freezing. Bitcoin doesn't know that. They just know that there's a transaction taking place and these people have consented to this transaction. So you have to be mindful that as companies start building their businesses on either Bitcoin's blockchain or Ethereum or Dash or Litecoin, are they emulating the status quo? When I'm using an exchange, does that mean that I can't send money to the Caribbean? I can't send money to just like I would with a bank? Are those paradigms still there? Then that doesn't work for us. So we need people to be aware of what's technically possible. Technically, this is a borderless technological revolution. But as companies rise around them, we have to hold them to the fire, or we have to decide, let's Harriet Tubman this and use blockchain directly because it's affecting our wallets. It's affecting our business, our ability to create businesses, international businesses that aren't the same as when someone is dealing business with Canada or doing business with the UK or even doing business with a certain sector of South Africa. So I have to be cognizant of who we are in the world, what the central banking and SEC and others, who the barriers they have placed on us within their current paradigm, that they have to change because we know what's technically possible. And you have to stop locking out people's ability to do international business. So those are some of the things that are important to us. As for me, I'm looking forward to Black Blockchain Summit that's going to Howard University at the end of September. It'll be the 5th year. It is the oldest blockchain conference period for our people. So many diverse voices at that conference. I'm looking for us to center ourselves in this world, to develop our startups, to develop our future pundits, and have spaces like this with Black Enterprise that people can share our lens and make that lens center to the narrative of cryptocurrency.
Well, unfortunately, that's about all the time we have. I mean, such inspirational words about the root technology and that, we can't be fooled anymore and how revolutionary and liberating it is. Let's Harriet Tubman this. So thank you to you both, Deidra, Ramsey, McIntyre, Derek Jones, and of course, Black Enterprise and the sponsors for the conference, Prudential and others. Thank you, and hope you learned something as an audience member. And I'm Matt Mitchell from CryptoHarlem and a tech fellow at the Ford Foundation. And I just want to say thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Blessings. Take care.